let's track the process of a precast panel through three parties' interests: the actual fabricator and the contractor who receives it out on site, and then finally the owner or the engineer who has to maintain it, who's going to live with this panel for the next 10, 20, 50 years. This is a great benefit to all three parties if you want to know the lifespan of a precast panel in the case of this building. So let's start with the fabricator. Currently a fabricator makes a panel, they go out, they pour a panel, they pour 25 in a day, whatever it is, and then they start to get out the clipboard and they track the progress of when that final strike off on the pour was, and then when that panel is actually going to come to strength and can be delivered. Well, right now they do it with a clipboard. Panel 1 was poured at, and they write down 9:02 a.m., panel 2 poured at 9:04 a.m., whatever it is. Our technology, whether you use a QR code or you use what's called NFC technology, you can take this chip here and you can actually wet set it in the actual panel. And then you can use your smartphone. Once this is actually set in the panel, you can use your smartphone to hit this device to read it with an iPhone 7 or better, or with a Droid, and you can actually pull up fields on your phone which you, the fabricator, or whoever purchased the software, whoever had interest in using this technology, the contractor can generate fields, or the fabricator can generate fields in which to add data to this particular unique NFC chip, which is sitting on the top, the top or maybe the back side of the actual panel. So the fabricator can benefit from it because he or she can track by the minute or by the hour the age of a particular panel by putting one of these in each of the 1,000 panels they have to do for a building. Once he delivers it to the job site, the fabricator, it can be dropped off by the trucker, and then he can go out and he can actually get out his personal device, and he or she can scan each of those 25 panels on the back of the truck as they're erected into place on the building. After they get erected by the contractor, actually they're being hoisted up by the crane, the contractor can then take over the account, if you will. This chip can be shared by multiple parties throughout the process as long as all three parties are willing to share the information, the three parties being the fabricator and the contractor and then finally the owner. But once it actually gets out to site and the contractor starts setting them on the building, he or she can scan each one of them, get the time it was actually set, the date it was set, the date it was delivered, then a purchase order becomes easier to pay, and then a daily report becomes easier to provide to the actual owner. Finally, after it's been fabricated and the panel's life has been tracked, from birth through, actual sample breaks, the contractor has erected them on the building. Finally, now the owner gets to take over the actual ownership of the panels and the maintenance. So once the panels are in place, all 1,000 of them on the building are in place, each of them will have one of these chips inside the panel, wet set into the back of the panel, so that the owner or the engineer can go back next month, next year, 10, 20 years down the road and take some sort of, right now it's an iPhone and a Droid, right? Who knows what it will be 20 years from now. But take a device which will read this NFC technology, it's like a fob that you have for your condo, read this technology and be able to pull out from this chip here the date of the pour, the weather if you wanted that, whatever fields that whoever wants this software wants to have in this actual chip. That 20-year down the road person wanted to scan the back of the precast panel because it's corroding or cracking, all that information will be stored here forever. This is a great product for fabricators to track the lifespan of the actual panel during fabrication, for the contractor to track delivery and the date it was erected, and then finally for the owner or the engineer record to actually track the maintenance and the performance of this panel throughout the lifespan on the building. I'm Scott Jennings. This was a short talk on Runasset, our asset management program by Runjob Software. We hope you'll give us a call and let us tell you more about the product. Thank you very much.